The writing instruments. Undoubtedly, the writing or drawing utensil is considered one of the most crucial innovations of humanity. Without it, our ability to communicate with others, both presently and in the future, would be non-existent. Furthermore, we would lack the means to access our ancestors' thoughts, emotions, and words. Today, these instruments are so ubiquitous that it is highly probable that you have one near your current location. The earliest writing implements likely consisted of fingers, sticks, or rocks, used to create etchings or scratches on more complex surfaces. In prehistoric times, early people learned to create a basic form of red or black pigment using coal or iron oxide paint. They then utilized their fingers or brushes made from reeds to apply this pigment onto cave walls. History. Illustrate dynamic scenes of pursuing and capturing wildlife. Crayons had not yet been created. The ancient Babylonians, Sumerians, and possibly the Chinese found that they could inscribe symbols into malleable clay and then harden them into durable tablets, as long as they were handled carefully to avoid breakage during regular usage. The Romans advanced this concept by developing wax tablets equipped with a stylus for writing, allowing for erasable texts. However, this innovation also had the unfortunate drawback of being susceptible to melting. The Egyptians succeeded when they discovered they could fill a stylus manufactured from a reed with a suitable tip with ink. However, reeds had a short lifespan. Therefore, in the 17th century, feathers, namely quills, were used as writing tools. And so it remained for generations. Pencils. Around 1565, a miner in England stumbled upon a deposit of graphite. Although its applications were first limited, farmers soon recognized its usefulness for branding cattle. Visualize the moment of sudden realization. Upon the realization that graphite, known for its durability when cut with a saw, may serve as an excellent writing substance without damaging the scarce paper. The term selected for this practical tool is pincel, derived from Middle English, denoting a small brush, originating from the Latin word signifying a small tail. Initially, pencils were crafted using slender, manually produced graphite cylinders encased in leather to enhance grip and shield the user's fingertips from graphite. The use of graphite as a writing medium originated in 16th century England, with the Italians being credited for the innovation of encasing the graphite in wood. British and American history, the art of writing. Subsequently, the Italians innovated the production of pencils by utilizing graphite encased in wooden casings. The first design of these pencils was flat, which prevented them from rolling away and inconveniencing industrious individuals like carpenters. In 1795, the French inventor Nicolas-Jacques Conté incorporated clay into graphite to increase the quantity of graphite available during an economic embargo imposed by Great Britain. This innovation allowed for the creation of pencils with different hardness levels and ultimately led to the invention of the modern pencil. The patent for mechanical pencils, which can be filled with new lead, was granted in 1822 to Sampson Morden and John Isaac Hawkins. Incidentally, pencils never contained lead in the portion that produced a mark. If a pencil had lead, it was on the instrument's surface rather than inside it. The lead originated from the paint used on the pencil. Lead as a component in paint was prohibited in the United States in 1978. Erasers designed expressly for removing pencil marks were invented in 1770 by Edward Nairn and Joseph Priestley. However, attaching an eraser to a pencil did not occur until 1858, when Hyman Lipman patented this notable innovation. Upon the discovery of graphite in an English mine, the concept of utilizing feathers as writing implements gained popularity. The increasing importance of writing and reading benefited a more significant number of individuals. Historically, early quills were commonly crafted from the finest goose feathers. In some cases, if the writer had the means and could get it, a quill fashioned from a swan feather was considered a luxury. Quill pens were an initial iteration of writing tools. Any sizable feather from a large avian species could suffice, depicted as a falcon quill. The crow was favored. One could utilize a feather from a different sizable avian species, such as an eagle or turkey, as a last resort. Crafting a quill necessitates a significant investment of time and labor and the use of fire and stone. Alternatively, all that is needed is a keen knife to hone or align the tip of the feather and create an incision to contain the ink. After completing the previous task, one immersed the pointed end of the feather in ink from a bottle or inkwell and inscribed a few phrases on parchment before needing to dip the pen again. Writing a lengthy or short letter or book with a quill pen was a laborious task that required much patience. Quills had a short lifespan and required frequent maintenance. However, that was plenty for several centuries. Assuming that they have sufficient proficiency, their writing skills may have been employed to document maritime records, procure necessary resources, affix signatures on significant historical documents such as the Magna Carta and the Declaration of Independence, and compose the initial articles of the United States Constitution. Quill pens have such a deep-rooted presence in human history that they are currently placed at every seat on the council table during sessions of the U.S. Supreme Court. In 1822, John Mitchell, a businessman from Birmingham, England, invented a pen equipped with a steel tip that was produced using a machine. After 6 years, Josiah Mason, 1795 to 1881, developed a pen tip that could be easily replaced. This innovation and Mitchell's endeavors brought renown to Birmingham for its pen tips. Although it may seem old-fashioned now, that is the reality. The pen and ink method was commendable, but had its drawbacks. It required the inconvenience of carrying a quill and a bottle of ink, which was cumbersome. During the mid-1800s, several innovators devised a technique to contain ink within a pen using a small reservoir. In 1884, inventor-manufacturer L.E. Waterman, 1837 to 1901, developed an improved method of supplying ink to the pen's nib without any mess. This innovation involved a continuous flow of ink, resembling a fountain, hence the term fountain pen. John J. Loud, 1844 to 1916, was granted a pen patent 1888 to write on coarse surfaces using a ball and socket mechanism. The technique was appropriate, however the ink was unsuitable and the pen was susceptible to obstruction. The conditions for letter writing were suboptimal, which did not appear to be Loud's aim. However, due to the effectiveness of the concept, newspaper editor Laszlo Biro requested his chemical brother to create an ink that would optimize the utilization of the ball and socket point. Biro submitted a patent application in Great Britain for his innovative invention. After that, he relocated to Argentina with his brother and a friend, filed a fresh patent in 1943, and began marketing pens to the British RAF. After World War II, inventors from all over the world started experimenting with ballpoint pen designs. It is important to note that a pen has a constant ink flow. At the same time, writing did not leave any ink stains on one's hands, and it did not require any adjustments, which was groundbreaking for people after the war. The Reynolds International Pen Firm, established by Milton Reynolds, became the first prosperous firm in the United States. On October 29, 1945, the company unveiled their innovative ballpoint pen at the Gimbel's department store in New York City, generating significant excitement and attention. The pen was sold for $12.50, equivalent to about $185 in today's currency. Additionally, hundreds of pens were sold within a week. Subsequently, the market saw a collapse. The elegant ballpoint pen proved to be underwhelming initially. During the 1950s, the ink underwent another reformulation, and the points were improved using newly developed types of steel. Prices significantly fell, as did the necessity to have a pen indefinitely. About 1.6 billion pens are discarded in landfills and littered daily. Ballpoint pens are readily available for purchase and are the most prevalent form of pens. Rollerball pens, which utilize a distinct type of ink, gel pens, which employ a different ink formulation, markers, typically equipped with felt tips, and stylus pens, featuring dual tips, are all available for purchase. You can purchase fountain pens from specialized manufacturers if you need a nostalgic item. Alternatively, if you possess a feather and a knife, you can craft your pen. Colored wax sticks are used for drawing and coloring, and are typically made of pigments and binders. Regrettably, I must inform you about the distinct aroma of crayons you recall from your early years. Which fragrance is ranked among the most unforgettable scents? The waxy feel of crayons is achieved by using stearic acid produced from beef tallow, which comes from bovine animals such as cows. The earliest crayons were produced many years ago, if we can use the term, coined in 1644 in a broad sense. The art of ancient Egyptians, Romans, and Greeks involved heating pigmented beeswax and allowing it to cool on the surface of stones, which required skill and expertise. Subsequently, crayons were initially composed of charcoal and oils, followed by dry pigment and oils, and eventually dry pigment and melted wax. Joseph Binney established the Peekskill Chemical Company in 1864, specializing in producing paints and other chemicals used for pigmentation. By 1885, Edwin Binney, Joseph's son, and C. Harold Smith, Joseph's nephew, became part of the company, leading to Joseph's retirement. The cousins were always active and never wasted any time. Edwin persistently experimented with chemicals. This display showcases a variety of crayons manufactured by Binney and Smith's company between 1903 and 1910. By conducting trials, I successfully created the first ever chalk that is entirely free of dust, bringing joy to teachers around the globe. In 1902, Binney and Smith elevated their firm by incorporating and subsequently creating an industrial marking crayon. In addition to his business pursuits, Binney collaborated with his wife to create pigmented crayons for the amusement of children and other individuals. In 1903, they successfully launched Crayola crayons. The term Crayola is derived from the French word crate, which means chalk, and the suffix ola, which signifies oily. In 1903, the initial set of Crayola crayons was sold directly to customers at their homes for 5 cents, equivalent to approximately $1.50 in today's currency. This set included black, brown, red, green, yellow, purple, orange, and blue crayons. Every crayon was encased in a manually rolled paper wrapper, as the technology to automate this process had not yet been developed. After 2 years, the range of products had grown to encompass boxes of crayons in 18 distinct quantities and 5 variations in crayon size. Presently, only 2 of the latter remain available: the standard crayon, which is the most prevalent, and the larger variant designed for little hands. The introduction of a package containing 64 crayons occurred in 1958. It had an integrated sharpener, which was highly desired by every American third grader for 10 years. In 1993, parents had the option to purchase a box of 96 Crayola crayons, including newly introduced hues, to commemorate the company's 90th anniversary. Over the years, various Crayola products have been introduced and discontinued. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content every week.